Oftentimes, customizing your user interface is a constant balance of minimizing clutter and having specific tools available when you need them. With SOLIDWORKS 2021, you no longer have to choose. To complete this part, we need to cut and pattern the sketch. However, the sketch and part color are very similar. Changing the color settings has always been available, but in SOLIDWORKS 2021, a column of representative colors is shown, making it easy to find the item you'd like to change. I'll go ahead and select green as the new color to make the sketch a little bit more visible. Also new in 2021 is the ability to collapse the command manager. Moving the quick access tools to the command manager further reduces extraneous icons and helps you focus on your design. All tools are still available using the tabs at the top of the screen, but a faster way to work is to use the S key keyboard shortcut. It doesn't yet have the pattern command we need. No worries, simply search for the command, which is new to 2021, then drag and drop it into the shortcut bar. This can also be done for the heads-up display toolbar. I'm just going to go ahead and add the undo and the new redo button. So now notice how little the mouse must move to create this cut using the sketch and then patterning it around this hole. Making a mistake is easy to correct using undo, but now with SOLIDWORKS 2021, redo is more complete, allowing you to redo feature edits. In SOLIDWORKS 2021, you no longer have to find that perfect balance between a clean user interface and quick access to the tools that you need. These new enhancements will allow you to better customize your workspace so that you can focus more on your design.
When working with sheet metal parts, we have long been able to create an edge flange on curved edges like these on the right, but we're limited to curved edges originating from planar faces. Now in SOLIDWORKS 2021, edge flanges can be created on curved edges originating from non-planar faces such as those in the bend area. The preview shows how the edge flange will be created all the way around the part. Familiar flange customization tools are available to help define the edge flange, such as length, angle, flange length dimensioning method, and flange position. This new edge flange looks great and is sure to provide more stiffness to the angle bracket. And of course, this edge flange can be flattened, ready to be detailed or exported to DXF for fabrication. This edge flange is great for structural integrity, but is also useful for enclosure and guarding such as this cover. The edge flange on the far side needs to protect the components of this navigation control unit. Full editing capabilities are available, so we can change the direction of the flange as well as the angle to wrap around the internal components to keep them safe. This new edge flange capability along non-linear edges extends the robust sheet metal capabilities of SOLIDWORKS 2021 for many more applications, such as adding stiffing ribs and enclosures. This LED light assembly contains parts of various colors, applied textures, and transparency, and needs to be 3D printed. In SOLIDWORKS 2021, support for export and import of 3MF files gets even better. Now color, textures, and transparency are supported on export. This information is stored in the 3MF file to be used for manufacturing or other applications. When opening a 3MF file in SOLIDWORKS 2021, we now support many more appearances. Per facet and per vertex coloring, as well as textures and transparency, can now be visualized when importing 3MF files as graphics bodies. Additive manufacturing continues to rise in capability and popularity, and SOLIDWORKS continues to embrace these technologies. When working in the weldment environment, it is common to use various sizes of weldment members. The horizontal tubes in this welded frame are 2x2 square tube, and the vertical tubes are 3x2 rectangular tube. The weldment trim extend tool is used to trim the tubes to each other, with various options for the corner type. The two end butt trims dictate how one tube trims to the other, and the miter trim bisects the angle between the two tubes, creating an equal angle miter trim. Since these tubes are of different profiles, the equal angle miter does not produce the desired result. In SOLIDWORKS 2021, there's a new option for miter trims, the flush miter, which does just that. It trims the tubes so they meet flush. The other vertical members are mirrored, so they update as well. This weldment will need to be painted, so let's edit the appearance and choose a color. We have a wide variety of colors to choose from on the color palette, or we can use the color spectrum to define a custom color. But oftentimes, we need to choose specific colors that are dictated by a customer. Let's take a look at the Square Robots webpage. Here we can learn all about their products and their initiatives, but what we really want is the color in the banner of this page. Now in SOLIDWORKS 2021, there is an option for easily selecting colors that do not exist on the palette. Just drag the dropper icon over an area on the screen and the color under the dropper is applied to the selection. For the vertical members of this weldment, we would like to have a different color. Let's select several of these bodies and again drag the dropper to the orange color in the logo to apply it to the bodies. The new color picker works on any image displayed on the screen, including colors from popular paint vendors and color system websites. Custom properties are a great way to store information about a document, such as description, creation date, or material. These can be leveraged to automatically populate title blocks, bills of materials, and PDM. Sometimes it's necessary to calculate a result to define a custom property. Now in SOLIDWORKS 2021, equations are supported in custom properties. Choose equation as the property type, and you have access to global variables, math functions, and other properties. For this weldment, we want to define an estimated cost that is based on a global variable, which is an estimated finished cost, and multiply that by the mass of the part. This gives a result of 428.60. Equations can be used in cut list properties as well. This plate in the cut list is used 4 times, and we would like to know the total length of all the plates together. Again, define the property name, choose equation as the property type, and for this calculation, we want to multiply the quantity of plates by the plate length, which results in a total length of 20.52.
As you spend time working and creating within your SOLIDWORKS 2021 assemblies, you'll find more streamlined tools for assembling, patterning, and analyzing. Now, while mating in SOLIDWORKS 2021, you will find a new streamlined property manager. Instead of expanding sections for each group type, now there'll be tabs for each group, making it easier to find the correct mate. We can now choose the default type of position for slot mates in SOLIDWORKS 2021. In this example, you can see the center of slot has been selected as the default choice. Likewise, there is now the option to lock rotation of slot mates similar to how we did it with the concentric mates. The default slot mate location is a new document setting found under mates. This eliminates the need to regularly change the location type when adding new slot mates to your designs. There's also a new option to synchronize the configurations of all component instances created by the pattern. Finally, let's take a look at what's new with the interference detection tool. The interference detection tool is super powerful because it allows us to quickly find issues within our design. Now in 2021, we have the option to save these interferences out in a spreadsheet. You now even have the choice to capture a screenshot of each interference so that they can be shared and reviewed in your organization. All of these new assembly tools available in SOLIDWORKS 2021 will ultimately allow you to work more efficiently and aid in streamlining your common workflows.
SOLIDWORKS 2021 delivers multiple new enhancements to access your data faster and work more efficiently. Open times for both resolved and lightweight assemblies have been improved in SOLIDWORKS 2021. This 2259 component assembly opens in only 21 seconds, making getting into your design faster than ever. The larger the assembly, the greater gains you will see while opening them in lightweight mode. To improve working with lightweight components, there is now also a more streamlined approach to accessing their assembly and feature information. Simply expanding a component from the Feature Manager design tree will now dynamically load those components on demand, giving you access to the fully resolved subassembly or part. This prevents unnecessary loading of large assemblies, but allows you to quickly access and resolve the components you're working on as needed. Finally, you can use Silhouette Defeature, initially introduced in SOLIDWORKS 2019, on an assembly to create a simplified representation of it, or you can use the feature to protect proprietary information. Silhouette Defeature provides an intuitive step-by-step workflow to define this simplified version using a variety of geometry simplification tools. While you are selecting the components, bodies, or subassemblies you want to simplify, you will always have a side-by-side view to show what your finished representation will look like. This ensures that you can capture the correct amount of detail. The methods you can use to simplify your geometry range from something as simple as a bounding box or cylindrical representation of the components, or something a little more complex like a polygon or tight fit methods which add a little bit more detail to final results. Perhaps some of the components in your subassembly are critical to show in a top-level design, even within a simplified representation. For those instances, you can choose the copy geometry method to capture all of the detail of those components, bodies, or subassemblies. What's new for Silhouette Defeature in SOLIDWORKS 2021 is the ability to save this simplified representation as a configuration within the same assembly from which it was created. This eliminates the need to manage a separate file that contains the simplified model. You may still want to use those other methods when using Silhouette Defeature to remove proprietary information from a design to share outside of your organization as a separate disconnected file. When using defeatured models within higher-level assemblies, it's now as simple as right-clicking on the document and choosing to use the defeatured version. Defeatured assemblies as configurations provide a way to both simplify complex assemblies visually and also add a performance boost in cases where all of the detail of the individual components isn't necessary.
When working with drawings of large assemblies, view manipulation is vital to a good user experience. Over the years, SOLIDWORKS has worked hard to optimize view manipulations on the screen. Detailing mode was introduced in SOLIDWORKS 2020 to allow users to open massive drawings in seconds. And for assemblies, the enhanced graphics performance option was implemented to take advantage of high-end graphics cards. And for SOLIDWORKS 2021, the enhanced graphics performance option has been extended to the drawing environment. As you can see here, we have two screens open in SOLIDWORKS. On the left, we have SOLIDWORKS 2020, and on the right, 2021. In this side-by-side comparison, the same 5-sheet drawing is opened. Let's start with panning the drawing in the document window. Notice how SOLIDWORKS 2020 on the left does a good job, but you can see that there is some latency as the drawing doesn't precisely follow the mouse. The same panning action in 2021, however, is dramatically faster and keeping up with the mouse, providing a much better experience. Zooming in and out is just as dramatic, and panning while zoomed in is lightning fast. For comparison, we'll repeat the same steps in 2020. Again, notice the latency, which can sometimes be confusing as you can overshoot your zoom magnification due to the delay. Panning is better while zoomed in, but not as fast and precise as 2021. The second sheet of this drawing contains even more views of this 2400 part assembly, and the performance difference is even more pronounced. For years, the SOLIDWORKS development team has been working diligently to write code and partner with hardware vendors to continue to raise the bar for performance. With the enhanced graphics performance option paired with modern OpenGL 4.5 graphics cards, SOLIDWORKS 2021 is surely a validation of the hard work.
Introduced in SOLIDWORKS 2020, detailing mode provides a way to open massive drawings in seconds, but is not limited to just viewing the drawing. Viewing performance is super fast, thanks to the performance improvements added in SOLIDWORKS 2021. Detailing mode allows you to perform typical detailing tasks, such as editing and adding dimensions and annotations. The model does not get loaded, so sharing drawing files is easy, but rest assured the drawing views are intact and there is no loss of detail. For SOLIDWORKS 2021, detailing mode now supports editing of existing annotations, such as notes and dimensions. Existing notes can be edited to add or remove information, and you have full access to all of the annotation editing tools. The front view on this drawing is displayed as a broken view with foreshortened dimensions to allow a more concise display of the information, but the top view is not broken. Now detailing mode supports broken views, cropped views, and even detail views. Similar to the front view, let's break the top view in 3 places. All the break line styles are available, as well as the gap between the breaks. Ordinate dimensions are supported as well, and we can now add additional items to existing ordinate dimensions, such as these edges and center lines. Detail views can now be created in the same manner as you would when the drawing is fully resolved. Just draw the detail circle, or choose a sketched profile and place the view. When detailing drawings, it's common to define hole information, and now in SOLIDWORKS 2021, detailing mode supports hole callouts, and foreshortened dimensions are applied when necessary. Existing dimensions now have full editing capability. For instance, the tolerance on the dimension between the holes is important for the function of the part. All of the dimension properties are now available, including its tolerance and precision. The location of the first hole is not properly defined to the center of the hole. All of the controls on every tab of the Dimension Property Manager are available, so we can define the arc condition of the dimension to the center of the hole. So as you can see, these enhancements in SOLIDWORKS 2021 extend the capability of detailing mode to fully detail your drawings in record time without having to load full drawings containing large assemblies, lots of sheets, many configurations, or resource-intensive views. Regardless of how you open a drawing, the Dimension tool has been enhanced to make it easier to create dimensions. Notice that now the dimension text is transparent after the first selection, making it much easier to see the second selection. VDA balloons are frequently used in the German automotive industry and a requirement for many European customers. A new leader type is now available for balloons and notes to allow users to tag inspection points per VDA requirements. Position and rotation are easily manipulated, and these VDA balloons can be used directly by SOLIDWORKS inspection. Finally, when working with sketch geometry on a drawing, it is common to add relations just as you would in the sketch environment. Previously, these relations were in the Property Manager, but now in SOLIDWORKS 2021, the Sketch Relations pop-up toolbar is available, allowing you to apply sketch relations with minimal mouse travel.
SOLIDWORKS MBD provides an integrated alternative to creating 2D drawings, which helps you define, organize, and publish 3D product manufacturing information, or PMI, into industry standard formats. 3D views provide an easy way to organize information for individual manufacturing operations, capturing model orientation and display of relevant PMI data, removing ambiguity and making it easy to understand. Datum targets are useful for defining points or areas of contact to establish a datum to simulate a mating part or feature. Now, in SOLIDWORKS MBD 2021, datum targets are available in the MBD environment. Locating dimensions can accurately define the location of the datum target and are fully editable just like any other dimension. So let's go ahead and set up a datum target on the far end of this sheet metal part. The first selection establishes the datum reference framework, in this case datum A, then place the target and its balloon. The datum target can be defined as a point, circle, or rectangle. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and make it a 1/4 inch circular target. Flat patterns in 3D views have been available in the past, including bend tables and bend notes, but now in SOLIDWORKS MBD 2021, this bend table information can be published in a 3D PDF, which provides a clear, concise tabular format similar to how the bill of materials is published. 3D PDFs are a great way to accurately communicate your design with downstream manufacturing operations. All that is needed is Adobe Acrobat Reader, and all of the 3D views are presented in an easy-to-read and navigate format.
You can now view custom and configuration-specific properties right inside the eDrawings viewer. Commands like measure have been significantly improved as well. Finding the center-to-center distance of two circular or cylindrical objects has always been available, but now, with eDrawings 2021, you can choose to view the minimum and maximum distances. You can also measure the normal distance between planar and cylindrical faces. Sharing your 3D designs without the requirement to install the free eDrawings viewer is easy. Just save as web HTML. Any modern web browser natively opens these files, allowing the recipient to pan, rotate, and zoom, as well as view configurations, exploded states, section views, and more. eDrawings Web HTML format now supports measurement directly inside the web browser. Also new in 2021 is the ability to move and rotate bodies, making it easy to interrogate large projects without having to dig through an assembly tree.
With previous versions, you could only access the last saved configuration when importing a model. In Visualize 2021, all configurations are now accessible from a drop-down menu. Applying appearances has always been a simple drag and drop from the appearance library. Visualize 2021 extends this simplicity with a more direct way to select the material when active in part selection mode. Just like before, a single click will select the desired part. New to 2021, however, a double click will select the part's appearance. This makes for easy work to copy and paste appearances and even edit existing appearances. No longer do you need to toggle between two different selection modes, making this extremely handy enhancement that you'll be sure to love. This bracket housing is produced in-house with a 3D printer, so the appearances will need to be adjusted with some additional texture to give it that lifelike look. Using the handy double click in part selection mode gets you the material properties where the color can be adjusted. Let's go an additional step and add a texture to give a more realistic surface finish. Displacement maps are one method of giving surfaces these types of textures, which are based off of grayscale images that tells the software how much to offset the surface. These maps are a great way to add complexity to the model, but traditionally have been tricky to calculate. Now, in Visualize 2021, displacement map density can be defined to give really impressive results. This opens a ton of possibilities with creating and rendering complex surface features that are often skipped during the CAD design process. There are times when a photorealistic rendering isn't the right visual language to communicate a concept. Available in Visualize Professional 2021 is a new Toon camera filter, which is perfect for giving an artistic, conceptual sketch look to your design. When it comes to creating renderings, nothing beats the speed of Visualize's hybrid rendering engine coupled with AI denoiser. Previous releases of Visualize allowed you to generate rendering passes for specific rendering layers, such as beauty, alpha, ambient occlusion, and so on, which would each require their own rendering process. Now in Visualize 2021, this workflow has been dramatically streamlined by generating each of these requested layers in a single rendering output.
When importing a new assembly into Composer, it's recommended to select the appropriate import profile depending on the origin of the CAD data. Now in SOLIDWORKS Composer 2021, the open dialog gives you even more control with direct access to the configuration information of the part or the assembly. There are plenty of great rendering styles built into Composer to get the right look and feel for your final documentation. Selecting the Flat Technical Display option will be perfect for these illustrations of the Square Robot's cleaning head brush assembly. Before diving into the rest of this project, there are a few document properties worth adjusting. SOLIDWORKS Composer 2021 offers additional user settings to the selection and highlighting options. You can now allow for hidden edges to be shown, along with modifying the color intensity. And just as before, colors can be set for both part and assembly selection and model highlighting. Previous versions of SOLIDWORKS Composer have had the ability to modify other document properties as well. Common changes include the viewport background to remove the gradient and adjust the background color. The paper space can be set to standard document sizes, or in this case, a custom ratio of 16:9. Units can be modified from metric to English and vice versa. What's new in Composer 2021 is the ability to save these document properties. This is extremely helpful when working with other systems, updating previous projects, or standardizing on company-wide document settings. The next step for this replacement part catalog is creating some views for each different cleaner head option. Composer offers quick ways to hide and show components with the right mouse button menu pop-up. In this case, hiding all of the unselected components and leaving just the desired cleaning head subassembly. New in 2021, you will see an updated user interface that allows for extended docking support of tabs and windows. Moving the Configuration tab and docking to the right side is a nice place to access all of the configurations that were brought in during the import process. Now with a new configuration active, it's easy to create all the additional required views for this final document. In this view, there are a handful of parts that are hidden, and when selecting this assembly configuration, you'll see that only the visible components are highlighted. New in SOLIDWORKS Composer 2021 is the ability to toggle this visibility on and off from the system preferences by enabling the option Highlight in the Viewport Invisible Actors belonging to the selection. With this option on, you'll receive direct visual feedback of hidden and shown components with each of your selections. From this view, all of these cleaning blades can be selected from the Advanced Selection tool in a single click. Using the Explode transform perfectly positions each blade, and finally, with predefined styles for callouts, all the part numbers and descriptions are automatically defined and formatted. Jumping ahead to the completed project, new for 2021 is the ability to host and share the native Composer file directly on the 3D Experience platform. This allows the interactive content to be viewed through any web browser on any device.
Overall, the analysis process in Simulation 2021 is simplified and more flexible. To validate how this corner mount assembly will perform, fixtures and loads are created. To reduce calculation requirements, the hardware components are set to use a draft quality mesh. From there, we can mesh and run to solve the study. The results look great, and this study was set up and solved faster than in previous versions. This is partially because of the added support for multi-core processing of contacts and multi-core meshing available with Simulation Professional and Premium. But let's take a closer look to see how Simulation 2021 has made the whole process easier. New properties for bonded and contact interactions specify gap and stabilization regions to automatically make your simulation more robust, even for models with slightly imperfect geometries. For example, with this new property, clearances between the bolt, nut, and plate are automatically recognized and treated, saving you from inaccurate results and time spent troubleshooting the study. The results at interaction areas are more accurate with Simulation 2021. For contact interactions, cylindrical, spherical, and conical geometry correction factors are now integrated. And for bonded interactions, improved accuracy is also built in. To check the quality of the mesh, a new diagnostics tool is available. The poor elements are now automatically isolated, making them quick and easy to find. And the mesh helper may be used to automate the mesh refinement if necessary. When it's time to solve the study, choosing the right solver can save a lot of calculation time. This is why the automatic solver selection algorithm has been optimized to better account for many variables to give you the best run for your study and computer. Experienced users will recognize the terminology updates throughout SOLIDWORKS simulation, especially when it comes to component interactions. The user interface now matches conventional industry terminology and better represents the enhancements you've seen here.
SOLIDWORKS Flow Simulation 2021 expands the types of CFD problems you can solve and continues to improve how project results are processed. Rotating region is a powerful feature that is used to simulate fluid driving motion of rotating components. Now in Flow Simulation 2021, rotating regions can be combined with the free surface feature. This is ideal for mixing tasks and can be leveraged further to gain more insight on product performance. For this thruster, we're solving for the torque and power requirements when it interacts with two separate fluids simultaneously. Goals are created to track these outputs, and by going to the history section of the goal plot, their values can be viewed throughout the duration of the study. With Flow Simulation 2021, new columns provided in the summary table make it easier than ever to find the maximum value and when it occurs. Creating common plots to visualize results is now even more efficient by using the new Create Plots from Scene command. You can even create the same plots in multiple projects all at once. Just activate the plots to view them. If you create one or multiple plots that you want to use in other projects, simply show the desired plots and choose the new Create Scene Template option. Now you're ready to create your various custom plots in any other project with only one command. Another common application for SOLIDWORKS Flow Simulation is heat transfer. This vehicle enclosure has multiple electrical components inside that generate heat. The enclosure itself is designed to act as a heat sink, but how can you determine exactly how the heat is moving from one place to another? The flex plot provides a graphical interface so you can easily understand where heat is coming from and where it's going. A new option in this plot groups all items by type, so you can quickly check the energy balance for the simulation and ensure that your study has fully converged. Investigating specific areas of the model can be done by creating a cropped region. When you click the automatic plot min and max options, They are now calculated from this cropped region so you can clearly communicate the range of values without further modifications. Another improvement with goals is the ability to calculate the minimum, average, and maximum from a selection of goals. For example, you can easily discover the maximum temperature across all of the batteries and PCBs with minimal setup work. To further reduce your amount of manual calculations, custom visualization parameters can now depend on other custom visualization parameters. The Magnus formula for calculating dew point temperature is a great example of when to use this new functionality. Just set up the items in the engineering database once and they're ready to use for your past, current, and future projects.
A new injection molding process is available in Plastics 2021 to accommodate multiple material overmolding. This manufacturing process is perfect for parts like this that require a soft protective covering molded over a rigid plastic. You can now also fully define your analysis before any meshing is required. This starts with selecting materials for each injection process. SOLIDWORKS Plastics 2021 has added over 300 new materials from global manufacturers. For the first injection, one of the new ABS materials from BASF will be used for the main body. The second injection process will use another new material, a thermoplastic for the soft protective cover, selected from the recently used list. Once the material for each injection process has been specified, all you need to do is associate it with its domain. In this case, the ABS to the part body and the TPE to the overmold geometry. SOLIDWORKS Plastics makes it easy to define other critical elements in your plastics analysis as well. For instance, you can define cooling channels without the need to physically model the mold. SOLIDWORKS Plastics 2021 significantly improves your simulation results by creating more realistic baffles and bubblers within the virtual cooling channels. Similar to the cooling channels, you can define a runner system and a virtual mold, which allows you to analyze and look at multiple scenarios for your injection process. All of these domains, like the part geometry, can now have their materials applied to them prior to any meshing taking place, allowing you to fully specify the components in your plastic injection analysis. Other critical mold design elements, such as the injection locations, can also be defined directly on the 3D model without the need for meshing any geometry. The results themselves, which include the new MultiMaterial Overmold injection process, are now more accurate when considering cooling, giving you confidence in your injection molding process before you even start designing or investing time and money into the mold itself.
One of the best features of SOLIDWORKS PDM has long been the integration with Windows Explorer. In 2021, support for the latest Windows 10 elements like the ribbon interface is even better. While icons are visually appealing, details is where the power of PDM reveals itself. Columns define specific sets of visible properties for users as they work in detail view. In PDM 2021, you can customize these even further in more places and provide choices with multiple column sets. For example, your users can quickly switch between different purpose-built column sets as different lenses to your data. In 2021, you can define columns for more places, like quick search results. You can add, move, remove, rename, and define permission to view and default preference per user or group. You can provide more meaningful access to data for everyone. And in 2021, a new administrative permission gives you more granular control over user ability to customize their columns. As you build out workflows, you'll enjoy the new and updated icons for states and transitions in PDM 2021. These help illustrate each step and add some color to your process's workflow. And you are building in visual recognition for contributors wherever they are accessing the vault. This Mount for Forward sensor suite is in the cost engineering state. I can help here with a redesign, but what about impacted references I should be aware of? New in PDM Professional, Treehouse View is available in Where Used and Contains tabs. This visual reference can be printed and exported to an Excel file with thumbnails, which could become part of change order documentation. A quick multi-select and you can check out just the right parts, assemblies, and drawings to make the change. Fast forwarding, I have redesigned the bracket to use aluminum plates. Converting this into a weldment creates cut list items, and in 2021, these are fully supported in PDM calculated bills of materials. Even excluding from cut list is now taken into account. It's not just weldments that are better supported in 2021. Derived part references, like those created from Insert Part, Mirror, and 3D Interconnect, are included as well. Also, SOLIDWORKS BOM component display settings are fully recognized. For example, I'm going to promote this configuration so the children will be presented at the next level up. A comparison of the computed bill of material shows the new version is taking into account all the flexibility I had as a designer inside SOLIDWORKS. With the expanded configurability and increased performance of SOLIDWORKS PDM 2021, you can take your engineering teams to the next level.
New for Manage 2021 is the ability to create project lists. Lists can be created to meet individual needs or defined by an admin and shared globally. Another new feature in Manage 2021 is the Auto Update Project service. This background service can be configured to check for task updates and automatically update the completion progress of project stages. Manage 2021 also provides new ways to visualize project tasks. Out-of-the-box task dashboards are accessible directly from the project and provide clear visibility to project task burndown, as well as status and priority. The task board can now be grouped by priority as well as status, allowing you to quickly visualize the assignment of tasks. With a simple drag and drop, tasks can be moved to in progress, and with a double click, task information can be accessed directly from the task board. Items are a powerful way to correlate design data and manage. This item record has a reference to a number of SOLIDWORKS assemblies that need to be consolidated into a manufacturing bill of materials. Modeless windows now allow you to open multiple records and work in both at the same time, facilitating the ability to copy and paste from one bill of material to another. Inside the bill of material, familiar editing tools like Cut are now available. Cut items turn orange, indicating that they are currently undergoing a cut operation, and once the bill of material is saved, they disappear from the list as you would expect. This assembly has a sheet metal part that will need to undergo a laser cut operation for the flat pattern, as well as a bending operation on the brake press. New for Manage 2021 is the ability to create new and new from records directly from the bill of material without having to exit the current record. Simply adjust any metadata and specify what should be carried over into the new record. To add this sheet metal component to these manufacturing operations, you can now use the new dissolve command on its parent assembly. This command allows you to indicate which subassemblies you'd like to break down into their individual components. New for the web client in Manage 2021 is the ability to preview SOLIDWORKS CAD data utilizing Web 2 in PDM Professional. Finally, when it comes to sharing data with suppliers, it couldn't be easier with the share command. This tool creates a unique link that can be added to an email or shared directly. You can add security precautions like passwords and link timeouts, and templates can be made available to ensure that all reference components are packaged up for download. Suppliers can simply click on the link to download the files you've shared with them.
As production scales, you may need to expand your capabilities to include manufacturing. A recent redesign of this sensor mounting bracket is a perfect opportunity to put SOLIDWORKS CAM to work. A default stock bounding box fits perfectly to the finished part. New in SOLIDWORKS CAM 2021, predefined bounding box gives you ability to represent standard rectangular stock. For example, a 6-inch piece of 6-inch wide, 3/8 inch 6061 bar. Save, update, and share your go-to sizes through the technology database, even classifying based on material. With automatic feature recognition, you can generate an initial strategy in under a minute. This initial toolpath simulation is looking good. Let's take a look inside this drill operation. New in 2021, you can define PEC parameters with respect to tool diameter or flute length. More control of point-to-point operations like drilling lets me capture best practices robustly. Of course, the technology database stores how you want to do it in the shop, and that means your preferences become the next defaults. As it turns out, there's a supply on hand of 8-inch wide bar. I'll make the changes and save that predefined stock to my TechDB. In 2021, a new prompt for rebuild is presented when stock is modified. Everything from my coordinate system feature to the thread operation needed to rebuild, and you're more aware of exactly what's updating in your program. Speaking of updates, how about swapping in round material instead? New in 2021, cylindrical stock is generated automatically. CAM will fit a minimum diameter and thickness, and with a few changes, I can see what this program looks like with 8-inch aluminum. If you share your posts between programmers, no one needs to be hunting around their C drive. A new setting in the Tech database for 2021 provides the option to specify a default post folder. Pretty handy to keep you updated when folder locations change.
In most cases, mounting clips are used to secure wires and cables in place. In SOLIDWORKS Electrical 2021, the Route Edit Through Clip functionality has been enhanced. After associating connectors from the schematic with the 3D part, you can simply route harness. We already arranged the yellow and brown wires to go through the clips. However, the red and green wires are only partially secured through a few clips. To finish securing these last 2 wires through clips, let's edit the route. Choose the Route Edit Through Clip tool and then select the axis of the clip and choose the wires you want to route through that clip. In the Property Manager, new Arrange Routes section allows you to manually arrange wires with user-defined offset, merge route to a single point, or auto-arrange the routes. Now all we have to do is repeat the process for the clip on the other end in order to secure the red and green wires through that clip. And it's as simple as that.
If everything we designed was only a square or rectangular shape, we would never need to use splines. In the electrical world, the path of electrical wiring and harnessing can take many forms, including lines and splines. In SOLIDWORKS Electrical 2021, we enhanced routes harness functionality to now support the use of both splines and lines to create route paths. We created routing path using both splines and lines for the harness that connects the transducer to go under already routed cables and follow along the wall. Let's adjust several of the arcs and curves to obtain a smoother path. In the 3D Electrical tab of the Command Manager, choosing Route Harness opens Routing Harness, where you will find new options to the route with splines. After routing is finished, the harness followed the predefined path we created. To finish up this harness and reduce waste of material from cutting 3 conductors shorter than the longest wire, we will add the splice to the wire so all conductors in the harness are cut to equal length. Supporting splines along with lines and arcs and creating a routing path for electrical harnesses greatly improves the versatility of routing electrical harnesses in geometrically complex products. It is common practice to have multiple cables starting from a single connector and then have each of the cables go to different parts of the electrical system. Routing all these different cables as a single assembly does not provide flexibility designers want. In SOLIDWORKS Electrical Schematic 2021, we improved cable properties by including the new field Separate 3D Route Assembly. The same parameter can also be controlled in SOLIDWORKS Route Cable command to provide maximum flexibility to users on how and where they want to initiate this new parameter. The same parameter can also be controlled in SOLIDWORKS Route Cable command to provide maximum flexibility to users on how and where they want to initiate this new parameter.